Okay. Welcome, folks. Today is episode 1 of Control, the game that was voted to be our next long play. We concluded Final Fantasy VI last week. Thank you to all you folks who voted. Thank you to all you folks who kept an eye out and were just like, yo, this is very interesting. I will be posting pretty consistently about Control as we play through it. This is one of my most requested Intelligame playthroughs. It is from what I understand, an action psychological paranormal thriller with a lot to go into, and I'm pretty stoked about that. We're gonna be playing this because we voted on it, and I just want to do a quick rundown. Just want to do a quick show of how we do votes for Intelligame, because we use ranked choice voting. This is a system, if you've never been like familiar with it, it's actually very cool. I like it a lot. I think it gives us an opportunity to not have to play that game as much of, well, I want to vote for the thing that I think is going to win. You get to vote your heart, and hopefully the results are a little bit more aligned with what the community would actually have a preference for as a whole. Yes, we are just getting started. Twitch, can you say hi, wave to YouTube as we get started? Throw some hearts at them to say hello. One of my favorite parts of being able to do this is playing live and chatting with all you folks here in Twitch. So this was our ranked choice vote. Ranked choice votes take place in rounds where originally, as you go through, you get to choose. In this case, you chose your top 5. In this case, you choose your top 5 choices of the 7 that we had. We had Control, Chrono Trigger, Off, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Life is Strange 2, Dragon's Dogma, and Final Fantasy 16. So, whenever I appreciate y'all saying hi to YouTube. So whenever we do a vote like this, the goal is for one of the options to get not a simple majority, but a majority of votes. So the first one to get past the 22 vote point would have been the winner. Now, at this point, there are no games that have 22 votes. This is all everybody's first choices. So what we essentially do is we go down the line, and whatever has the least number of, hey, this was my first choice, it gets eliminated. And we go to that person's second choice. So in this case, the 2 people who are like, the thing I want to see the most is Final Fantasy 16. We remove that from the list, and we see that their votes then got moved to Life is Strange 2 and 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. So then we do the same with Dragon's Dogma. After that, it does whatever is next for them. So let's say they had chosen Dragon's Dogma, then Final Fantasy 16, it would move to their third choice. Whatever choice is available for them next is the one that gets moved. Life is Strange 2 got pulled down. It had 5 at the time. Those votes got redistributed to Off, Chrono Trigger, and Control. I honestly didn't know that Off existed before Firestar told me about it, and I didn't recognize how popular that was gonna be. It is kind of a strange, surreal indie game. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim gets eliminated next, but you can see every time that we do an elimination, Control is getting a significant bump. So as we go ahead and we pull the Off votes out, this is where Control passes the line and gets that majority at 23. There are also, as you can see down in the corner, which I usually don't get to see, are 3 exhausted votes. So these are people who made their choices and then eventually they were just like out of selections. Perhaps the 5 out of the 7 choices they made were all games that got eliminated. Maybe they just chose these 5. Maybe they only chose 3 because they were like, I only really care about this one, and this one. And if it's not that, then either I'm not interested or it can be whatever. So that's why our final vote count is 40, with 3 exhausted votes. So it is, I appreciate that we have this system, and I like using it so that we have an opportunity to say not just like, okay, well, I'm going to pick, like we do in the US political system, I may not really like the Democratic candidate, but I'm sure not going to pick the Republican candidate, and the odds of anybody else actually being elected in the general election are incredibly slim. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick what I think is going to be damage control, and I hate that. I think it is bad for our democracy. So yeah, this is what we use for our stream votes, and it gives us an opportunity to just try out a system that I think would be better for us as a whole. But I think oftentimes we don't get the chance to really learn about or see in action. So yeah, we do it with our games. Even Bloom says, how do you deal with a tie at the end? Check the composition of vote types. I'm not actually sure. Like if we had gotten like 2020, if it had been 20 control, 20 chrono trigger, it might have come down to a coin flip at that point. I'm not really sure how that works. In the future, for folks who missed the opportunity to vote, I did post this one in the Discord. I generally will be better about posting these also in our newsletter. Which Nightbot went ahead and threw down. I got a little overwhelmed this past week, but usually when we do stuff like this, it'll also come up in the newsletter. So please make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. That is the place where I am increasingly going to be putting my marketing energy, my marketing and notification energy, especially considering that Twitter has been a dumpster fire that I didn't want to be on for a very long time, but it is increasingly stoking its dumpster flames, and I just nope. I'm voting nope. Vote with a hard nope. Anyway, all these things said, it is time for us to explore the world of Control. I am very excited for us to spend some time with this game. I am also appreciating that folks are giving the heads up about some potential content warnings in here. If you know your way around the game and know that there is some potentially triggering content showing up, you can always type !CW in the chat, and that will just put a generic content warning, and that'll also let me know as the streamer, hey, you should keep an eye out because there's potentially a thing that you should, potentially a thing. Let's go ahead and we're going to bring down our backer track. We're also going to get started with Control. We're going to do a sound levels check, of course, as we get started, so please help me out with that. Whenever we change the equipment we're using, it's very helpful for that. I also recognize I left my other headset adapter in. Let me go pull that out real quick. Or I didn't. That's weird. We should have... There it is. Okay. Okay, so let me know. We should have capture card, monitor, and output. Yeah, Alex, that's usually how it works. We put you on the TV, left to get coffee, came back, still hadn't started the game. Yep, that's usually about right. And start the show at 9:15. Like, start the warm up at 9. Usually start the show by 9:15, and maybe start the game by 10. It's not efficient, but it's usually how it gets done. I hope you're doing well. I also am not sure. Okay, can you all hear the oh, wait. I feel like I know the answer to this question. Okay, so y'all can hear, which is good. I can't. And I know that I've figured this question out, or I've figured this out before. Ansgar, thank you for that follow, by the way. Shoot. I think actually, you know what? I may have to restart OBS. I think this is usually what we end up doing is I'll sit here and like mess around with it a bunch, and it turns out the answer is just close and open OBS because that was what happened last time. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks. Do this. 40, wait, I see a 47, but I don't see a 46. Where was 46? Are y'all, did somebody jump the gun? Or wait. Oh, no, I see a 46. All right. Yep, okay. Oh, I see it. 52. All right. We're going to call 52. Y'all did good work. Scrolling up and you're just watching the numbers. I like it. Thank you for your patience, folks. It turns out the correct answer apparently was restart the computer, which I am typically resistant to. But then what that means is I burn 20 minutes trying to figure out a thing when the answer is just turn the damn thing off and back on again. And so I'm glad. Frankly, I'm glad I did it. I am. I think there's just something about the way that the sound card in particular works or doesn't work coming back from sleeping, and I remember at one point I used to, especially when using the capture card, would turn the computer off and back on again before I would stream. I would always do a clean reboot, and I think I'm just going to get in the habit of doing that on the regular now. This is chat for the rest of stream. I think is he back? Is you may need to refresh. Because hopefully I am here for some of y'all, right? It's a little strange. Marineshi, it's good to see you. Why are you darker now? So there is the other weird thing. There are a couple of things that I always have to take care of before every stream, or theoretically I am supposed to take care of before every stream. One of them is enabling Firebot so that when y'all do like the I appreciated that, it shows up. Another one is resetting my frustratingly ridiculous Samsung or Logitech camera. For some reason, this camera does not hold its settings between reboots. So I have to go through, open up the settings manually, change the white balance so that it does not have me look like green or heckin' super red. And then I also have to check another thing so that it lightens the screen back up. So, can't stop before 69. Okay. That's a nice finish. It is a nice finish indeed. Is Miscontrolled DreamWorks facing? I don't quite get the reference there. Confetti part. All right, I'm gonna give us a short confetti party. The confetti party has been redeemed, which I think is appropriate for the start of Control. However, as we actually start Control, I'm gonna disable it and we'll bring it back later because I don't know what the vibes are gonna be like. So yes, welcome folks. We are gonna be playing Control. This is our first episode. I am super excited. DreamWorks face is the one eyebrow raised smirk. Can I do that? I don't know if that I think that made me feel like I was like, I don't know, am I nervous? Anyway, it's good to see you folks in here, and I am excited to play Control. I hope you folks are as well. This has been, again, a long time request, and we have We have talked around getting the game started for quite some time. Smolecule, hey, it's good to see you, folks. Please throw some mod hearts in the chat. We've got a mod swinging in. Hey, it's good to see you, Silver. Welcome in. Didn't miss it. Good afternoon. See, we've got all this excitement for Control. I do think it's going to be very good. I do not know what we're getting ourselves into. A quick heads up that there may be some triggering content. This does seem to handle some mature themes. Also, the game does it may have a little bit of upside down, wibbly wobbly. There might be some motion sensitivity things as we get started, so a heads up for those as well. If you are interested in talking spoilers, any of the things that would be potential backseat suggestions, asking if I've already seen a thing, any of that stuff, please take it to the spoiler chat. We have in our Discord a specific channel to talk spoilers. You can talk spoilers to your heart's content. I don't see that channel, so all those things there. Otherwise, here on the live channel, please, no backseating, no spoilers. I will specifically ask chat. I'll be like, hey chat, here's a question, this thing, if I'm looking for help or advice. I do tend to ask a number of rhetorical questions where I'm trying to just piece something out in my brain. So just a heads up on that. I would love the opportunity to experience this for the first time. I consider it a gift to be able to experience it for the first time and come to some of these discoveries and whatnot with an audience, with you folks as attendees. But I'm just ask that you respect my process, because sometimes I will struggle and it will bring you pain. But that's the nature of streaming. Last but not least, have a good time. Please bring yourselves to the chat, ask questions. We do have what we call Intelligame here. It takes us longer than the average stream to play through a game, but it's because we like to stop and smell the roses. We have discussions about the themes and ideas that come up that are present, especially when they tie to things in current events or in our own lives. I would encourage you to think about the things that we're playing through and the discussions that we're having, and bring your own thoughts and ideas to the table, even if they might run in contrast to something that I've said, perhaps particularly if they've run in contrast to things that I've said. This is a community where we do practice progressivism. We do care about making sure that people are represented well and fairly, and that we are taking care of the marginalized. This also is a space to have some of those questions and potentially engage in some of those harder discussions. I always have things that I need to learn as well, and they don't. My first take is not always best take. So this is a place that I try to steer towards creating an energy where we can learn and grow together, and not have to have all of the answers before we come up to the table, because hopefully we will get better answers by trusting our community. So you're a non-practicing progressive. That's fair. You know, you're like, yeah, I used to, but now I just go to progressive on Sundays, or on like, you know, holidays, right? Like, okay, friends, here we go. I'm gonna pull down. Thank you for the confetti party as we get to celebrate getting started with Control. It is time for us to dive in. As usual, folks, give me a sound levels check as we get started. It will probably take me a little bit of That's a great start, Josh. Wonderful. It's probably going to take a little bit of messing around with the orientation of the screen to make sure that I'm not getting in the way of anything. But yeah, keep me posted as we get started. If I'm blocking any critical UI elements, if the sound levels are too low, things like that, we will go ahead and get those fixed. But let us invert our control, because I can almost guarantee that that is not fixed right now. Yeah, I love to do my settings live. This is the best way to. Nope, I'm not even gonna look super close, because I don't want to spoil any things. I am going to bring the music and the effects volume down just a little bit, because generally speaking, mixes I tend to want to have a little bit more on the dialogue just to make it a little cleaner. We are gonna mute the copyright. If I mute the copyrighted music, am I going to miss the moment that y'all are talking about? Should I take the chance? I don't know if is there a lot of copyrighted music? Like, should I be on the lookout for a strike if... Okay. Because y'all were so... because y'all were so excited about the idea of me not missing the moment, I'm gonna try and keep it. And if things go south, then we'll see. I'll do a little bit of research and see if other people have gotten content flags for this game in the past. I believe that there are game elements everywhere that will play copyrighted music. Are subtitles not on by default? Thank you for that heads up, but on interface. Oh, interesting. Yeah, thank you for the heads up there, because I usually would have anticipated that those would be on by default. So, okay. Let's see, AM, FM radios to be specific. Okay. Thank you for the heads up on that, and I will keep an eye out. Silver says he's got his entire playthrough on YouTube without it even being flagged by Content ID. Okay, so we'll keep that in mind. We'll keep the fingers crossed. A big shout out, of course. Can I get a shout out real quick for Silver Streak? And yes, I do always play with inverted controls. I am that guy. Friends, it's time. We're going to actually start our playthrough of Control. Why do I feel like I'm not ready? Why am I feeling the nervousness? Oh, there we go. We're going to set this for headphones. I am going to keep performance. I will bet that the ray tracing looks really good, but playing at 30 frames a second makes me sad. So yeah. Standing still in combat makes you an easy target.
Fair warning. This is gonna be weirder than usual. Can't be helped. You called me. So here I am. I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie. The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different for each of us. It can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here?
Okay,
Hello?
that was an exciting start.
Anyone here?
I enjoyed that beginning. Let's see. Even Bloom says couldn't have just referenced Plato's cave. I think there are two reasons that we don't, and I think those two reasons are good reasons. The first reason is I think that actually three reasons, and I'll say the third reason, or the first reason, is it sounds like they're referencing a particular movie, and I don't know which one that is. So if y'all know what the prison movie is that Jesse was referring to, Shawshank Redemption, yep, I've seen, I want to say, a significant portion of it, but for some reason it's always on my to-do list and I never get through it. So I do think, I think that for that reason, okay, doing the movie reference is smart. Reason number two, and I say this from a game whatever perspective. I think that if you start by using, wait, do you see that the little like light refraction that's coming off of when we look at the, that's wild. What? Anyway, reason number two is that I think that it helps to change the context just a little bit when you are starting a new setting. I think that the allegory of the cave is fairly familiar, and so if we started with a description of the allegory of the cave, you as the player may mentally check out just a little bit, because you're like, I already know about the allegory of the cave. Why would I maintain my immersion right now when you're just going to explain to me something I already know? So by talking about being in this cell and having a poster on the wall, it makes it more likely that you're going to be a bit captivated by the introduction. And that's a thing that, like, as a writer, but as a writer, you have to be conscious of, is how am I trying to, especially at the beginning of the game, hooking the person into this experience and making them curious and wanting them to push through. Reason number three, and I think this one is the most explicit, is that notice that at the end of the metaphor, it is not, in Plato's allegory of the cave, we have people are chained to the wall looking at shadows, and this is supposed to be a representation of what you think reality is. In Plato's allegory of the cave, you are unshackled, you walk out of the cave, you experience reality, which in my opinion is just yet another cave, because we can never prove that we're actually in reality. But the point of the story is, you go outside, you come back, you're like, oh, holy hell, all this is shadows. You try to tell other people around you, but all they have seen are the shadows on the wall. And so they're like, no, you don't make any sense. You've detached from reality, when you're telling them, wait, you're the ones who are detached from reality. You've never seen reality in the first place. In Plato's allegory of the cave, we are the ones with agency. We are the ones who take the step out, who find out what the world is. But in the story that starts here, we don't have control. In the story that we're given here, the poster on the wall exists, and then something breaks through the poster on the wall. We are subjected to this idea that reality is not what we think it is, while also still sitting in the same space where we anticipate that reality should be the same. So there's an inherent disconnect and discomfort that is present in that story that would not be present in the same way in the allegory of the cave. And so I think I think it is more appropriate. It's more compelling, and also gives us, again, a slightly different frame, a slightly different structure with which to start the game. So I think it's really good to notice that parallel. I think that they're definitely drawing that parallel, but I think there is a reason why we start with something just a little different. And yes, we said control. Should we have a control counter? Like the number of times we say control. with the zoom. Like, um, okay, board countermeasures. We've got a new collectible, correspondence, prohibited items reminder. Reminder, certain objects are not allowed inside the Bureau. Recent incidents have necessitated an issued reminder on prohibited materials. Unauthorized weapons, pagers, laptops, smart watches, smartphones, smart gaming devices, anything smart. Number 2, pencils. Any objects considered iconic representations of an archetypal concept, like a rubber duck or a ketchup bottle. All materials under Bureau investigation All material under Bureau investigation is to be brought in through the private entrances. If you see any lobby personnel in breach of these policies, please notify your supervisor immediately. Okay. And then it looks like our content warning has been updated. Control contains scenes of flashing lights and motion sensitivity. Also has heavier themes and scenes featuring unreality, including potential auditory triggers like whispering and moving or aggressive voices or sounds. Yeah, thanks for that heads up. Is this the time I can redeem 5k points for a swear jar? No, do not ban the word control. I mean, you can if you want. I don't know if the swear jar is still a redeem, but I don't even know what word I would substitute in. That memo reminds me of the time at the NSA. I can't imagine what that would be like. Internal lockdown is in effect, building lockdown in effect, multiple containment breaches detected, multiple building shifts detected, head of research override, HRA protocol activated. There's a pack of cigarettes still here on the counter. Everybody is gone. I can see why y'all were talking about the environmental storytelling being so powerful in this game, because already I feel like I'm just like, oh, now I know. Oh, all right. 10 minutes? Really? Is it 10 minutes? I need to work on... All right, well, for the next 10 minutes, I cannot say the title of the game. It's good to see you in here, T. We're gonna see if how many times we hack it up. And a cilantro of suggestions. Yeah, shame on you, 5D. Shame. All right, Bureau expenditures. I'm gonna spend a lot of time looking at collectibles, but I do care about taking on as much information as possible. So, let's see. Bureau expenditures, major expenditures are staffing, surveillance, redacted, data center initiative, construction, redacted. Minor expenditures, office equipment, janitorial costs, redacted. Mold removal, HQ livability costs. You have both redacted major and minors? Come now. Where there are people walking outside, and yes, trying to follow along. Smolecule, good question. There were people walking outside. There was traffic outside.
Seal. I saw it a long time ago.
I
keep seeing it in my dreams.
I wouldn't say that, like, we do see that this building is completely empty right now, but it's not. The outside has not been. Our bureau at work. Head of research, Dr. Casper Darling. Positively giddy with rediscovering this game again and all the stories we'll find. Actually, one other thing I'm going to ask real quick. How are we doing on brightness? Occasionally when we play darker games, I need to increase the gamma on the stream because it'll come off kind of dark. And I think that I just have that adjustment all the time now, but...
Federal Bureau of Control.
Let me know
all
if
these
it ends up
years
seeming
I've been
too
looking
dark.
for them, and they were hiding in plain sight.
Can I crouch? Is that a window? That's probably, yeah. I turned up my monitor brightness to even things out on my side. Okay. It's a dark game. Your visuals look like I remember. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. I should still have that that filter on. This is kind of interesting. Whatever's in the upper left, let's see, hot and spicy, crackers, trail mix, pistachios, protein. Everything is not only really like there's no picture, no images on the labels, but then like what does that say? Protein and fibers? Everything about this is so disorienting already. Um, well, I mean, it feels almost worse than the no name brand because it's not even like what kind of protein bars. Like this is just Canada. It's just yeah, what kind of protein bars? What kind of like potato chips? Um, why did I? Oh, okay. There is a thing I need to update. We're gonna take you and go here and here. Update this with this. I realized there's a tweet there and it's like, hey, if you want to help, you can retweet this tweet. Except the tweet is hella old. So let me go ahead and it's not hella old, it's probably just last week's. There it is. Okay. Marineshi says, unable to find a definitive list of what's removed when you take the mute copyrighted music. I think the most important track stays, but in my opinion, there are 3. Okay. Yeah, if anybody finds that out, I would be curious. I'm not super afraid of strikes right now. I mean, we're a pretty small channel in the first place, but yeah, if it seems like it'll be a problem, holy hell. Federal Bureau of Control, attention all, redacted. Redacted, a shark in his redaction, although secure, redacted. Permission to redacted, following basic protocol, redacted. Shoot to kill. Good luck. Why issue it? Why send it out? What is the point? There's a part of me that feels like if I could zoom in, well, okay, well I can zoom in. There's a part of me that feels like if I could truly zoom in and see those things on the board, they would actually be readable. The color gradient in here, everything is just, it is that, somebody said like brutalist architecture. I've never, did I say it again? Damn it, how many times have I said it? So I'm gonna change the jar. Where like for now we'll keep it, but I think the jar needs a bit of a shift. I've thought about giving myself push-ups or squats a la Jenny for my penalties. Like every iteration of the jar is like another 2 or 3 push. Okay, I'm not very good. Whoever suggested this, yeah, exactly, Hefty, chucked right out. Federal Bureau of Control. Hello. As you all should know by now, the R4 reports are due by the end of the week. We're still waiting on them from a number of people. If you need an extension, please request form R4.E from your supervisor. If you think you're exempt from filing an R4, then you'll need to get written permission from your department chief saying so. Remember, R4s are mandatory under section 75.2 of the employee manual. That's a lot of sections. If your R4 requires interdepartmental claims, then please contact the appropriate department head, Dr. Darling, Miss Marshall, Mr. Salvador, or Mr. Kirkland as needed. They'll be busy on Thursday in their annual policy review, so please schedule accordingly. Wait, do you hear that? Oh, there's a janitor over there.
Hello?
Okay, that's not my phone. Right? No, that's my watch. I need to take my meds. Okay. I was like, I was like, wait a second. I hear this vibrating. Is the game fucking with me already? Oh. Okay, so we hit a multiplier of 5. I haven't come up with the new rule yet, so we're gonna do the old thing, which is we'll gift a sub out. Usually used to gift a sub at multiples of 5. I think. Let's see. Do this and gift a sub and where is, I don't know where it is. Oh, there we go. All right. We're gonna go ahead and it looks like where is it? T already has one, so I'm gonna go ahead and gift it at random. Let's see, it's gonna go to. See, it's expensive for me to not pay attention to my swear jar. Masra Matame 3. We have a new gifted sub as a result of my lack of control of language. Which I've said again. Alright. So, now that that's been taken care of. Okay. Okay. Nope. It looks like I maybe forgot to shut down my own stream. There we go. Okay. I can't. Oh, and the timer just ran out. Good job, Josh. Great job. Okay. Well, now that that's taken care of, if you find videos playing in the world, it's better to immediately go to the menu and watch them from there, not only because you can see them better, but because they are longer. The in-world ones are cut. Oh. Interesting. Interronaut says, I completely... Oh, by the way, it's good to see you, Interronaut. I completely went for the harder to interpret diegetic versions to maintain the fiction. Well, good to know that there are
Excuse me.
differences. But, agreed.
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You'll work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, you are no relevant. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, you malot.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
But
Wait.
that said, I know what you're thinking. If there's an axe murderer around, that's him.
Wait. Wait, okay, two things. Gotta duck out. Yo, thanks for swinging in, Simple Bird. I am gonna co-sign what Smolecule said, which is, again, we are staying spoiler and backseat free. So even if you're making a suggestion about something that's kind of metatextual like that, I appreciate it, but please ask and make sure it's something we're up for first. And exactly, okay, all y'all figured it out. Whereas like, wait, I thought a thing, and then you were like, oh yeah, better than if I had no face at all. And Jesse didn't even react? He didn't even react to wait, did I go backwards? I didn't think I went backwards. Did I? Nope, that's the vending machine. And oh, oh, okay, wait. Oh no. Oh no, this game this game's already fucking with me. Oh. People that deal with it emotes are still here. Actually, they might be a good choice after all. We still got our knowing no my emote. Oh gosh, Octi does seem like does seem like a very interesting character.
The cell and the poster. I was 11 years old the first time I saw behind the poster. They told me I imagined it. I've been trying to pull it down ever since. Will you help?
Wait, me? Like, there's like not even music right now? Is there supposed to be music? Did I like unintentionally check or are they just really using this to set mood? Because freaking brilliant design.
Did I lose you there for a moment? You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan. 17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
Okay, I'm sorry. That intro was so good, and that subtle opening of the elevator, also recognizing it looks like this is going to be breaking the fourth wall like the whole time. Jessie also doesn't seem to be bothered by it. This is the first time that she saw what was on the other side of the poster was when she was 11, and her brother has been missing for years. There's also a part of me that like, I'm like, this feels like a very classy jacket and jeans, and you're coming in for a job of janitor's assistant. She says that she's been looking for this place for a long time. And so there's a part of me that feels like being able to say, oh, I'm here to apply for the janitor's assistant job is just an excuse. Like, there's going to be a lot to process in this game. Yes, the stylized control framing the doors, it just, oh my gosh. That title to elevator, in Terranaut says, the title to elevator open really reminds me of the ways that you can play with scale in like movie theaters. The sense of making something feel huge and then completely recontextualize it with the next element. Agreed. I'm already... way, way too excited to spend more time with this game. If I was not streaming, I would definitely have the lights off right now. This feels like a lights off game. I also actually I really appreciate how clearly the game indicates when there are collectibles to pick up. Because I actually care about this supplementary information. I like that they give us the dot that it draws the eye, but it doesn't have to make the thing like giant, right? So it doesn't destroy the sort of context or the view, but it also does make it clear, like, hey, I don't need to walk around every filing cabinet and walk around every corner trying to find the additional information here. I can tell that this game's doing a lot of good stuff, and yet I remain unaffected. And that's okay. You know, not every situation is for everybody. But I think genuinely, as somebody who, again, as somebody who appreciates movies and also really appreciates the amount of work that it takes to develop a video game, I am very affected. But it's okay that it's not for you. It might not be for you, or it might not be affecting the same way. That's okay. Barbara, I am not to be disturbed. Cancel all my appointments for the day. For the rest of the week. I can't trust them, Barbara. Not a single one. Trench. Let's see. Lashir says, can I offer a tiny quality of life thing regarding access to collectibles? Sure, I'll take that. Thank you for asking. What? What? Oh, no.
Shit.
Oh.
Shit.
Okay,
You
so...
want me to pick it up? The murder weapon? Really?
I'm sorry, I've just never seen a game do this before. I think it's really interesting, the idea that, like, we were just having this discussion about UI elements, right? But, like, this dot is something that we're used to interpreting as a player that would be invisible to the character. However, in this case, the character sees it. The reason why Jesse is interacting with these elements is not because, oh, well, the game is just helping us. It's almost as if narratively there is a reason why Jesse would go through and ignore all of these other books, because something, whether it's us as a player, whether it is the game, whether it's the bureau, whatever it is specifically directing Jesse's attention towards these things with these dots. So it is really intriguing the ways that this game is already playing with our expectations, not just in sort of the SCP X-Files way, as mentioned before, but also with our expectations from game conventions. Yes, the fourth wall has been moved behind us, right? I probably should have also given, it looks like there's a potential suicide content warning here, so we'll see what happens from here, but at least we didn't watch it super directly. Yeah. In which case we're also being controlled by the game. Well, that is... Oh... It's control. This is gonna be okay. Yeah. Dylan says, yeah, I played some hours of this game before bouncing off because I felt like it was really cinematic and sharp, but the story didn't do anything for me. I hope that we're able to find something that you find interesting, that there's something worth revisiting. Only the director can wield. And it looks like content warning, folks. Oh, yeah, definitely a content
And
warning
there
here.
goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it.
Only the director can bind the service weapon and live/die. This is your ritual/challenge. You must choose to be the chosen one.
Where am I?
Okay. There we go. Yeah, and as Molecule, thank you for bringing that up again. Okay, a couple things I'm trying to keep in my mind simultaneously, so let me one at a time. First off, content warnings. If you know that some triggering content is coming up, all you got to do is type !CW in the chat. That's our general all-purpose, hey, somebody in the community is giving a heads up that some triggering content might be showing up. So please feel free to use that. That is an all chat command, so you can use that as needed. We also have a control-specific content warning that there's flashing lights, motion sensitivity, heavier themes, and some situations of unreality. So please make sure you're keeping up with those as well. But yeah, those are our generally how we handle triggering content, so thank you for that. I kind of missed some of the cutscene that we just saw, so I'm not. Can we go back? Is there? Follow the board's instructions to complete the astral plane challenge. Is there multimedia? Okay, objects of power, darling presentations.
Objects of power can cause or be results of
Oh, whoa.
AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. A side note.
I think the
Remember to
audio
counter
seems
connect to the
slightly
astral plane as well.
off sync.
The service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's
That's
DNA,
the
a
service
key
weapon?
component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it. Lose and you're, well, fired. Thank you. I'm Dr. Darling, head of research, Federal Bureau of Control.
What? What? Also, kind of amazing that they used real, like those are real people things. There's so many common remedy actors, really. Oh, sheesh. Okay, it did seem synced to you. Alright, I will keep an eye out because I felt like it was slightly off sync. Let's see, does this change my monitor? Doesn't feel like it. What about this knob? No, that knob is... This changes... Does this change the actual sound of my voice? Am I quieter right now? Did I do a thing? I think I did. Let's turn that back up. Okay. That's strange. I'll find a way to take care of that. Okay. Let's see. Follow the board's instructions to complete the astral plane challenge. They referred to the service weapon as a gun/sword/intentionally left blank, so it's clearly tied to one's own perception of such a thing. Would it show up as anything specific on camera? Like the house or prison you occupy. Okay, this is wild. So it looks like, yes, calling out that, let's see. They referred to the service weapon as a gun sword or intentionally left blank, so it's clearly tied to one's own perception of such a thing. Val says, I think it's a translation issue, like a word that doesn't have a clear meaning in a different language. Okay, so the idea that we have the board here, and the board's going to be communicating with us, but it also seems like there are these divisions. There are going to be, I guess, places where perhaps the way that a situation presents is going to vary, or would assumedly vary, based on when somebody was entering this space, or what their perception is, perhaps, that they're bringing to the environment. Like, okay, that's definitely out of sync for me. All right, I'll have to work on that after stream.
The same gun. Okay. Now I have a gun.
To me, it also feels like a Jungian concept. Hole Digger says there's a bit of an echo on everything. Okay, so that's not, thank you for giving me the heads up on that. Check the echo when we get to a loud thing. Okay. Even Bloom says, I'm starting to think that why this doesn't work for me is because I don't get it, but because it's depending on the player having intuitive difficulty with the concepts and perspectives offered in the game to me where they're intuitive. I don't think I necessarily am feeling like there is a sort of like difficulty in the concepts. I think the place where it does seem interesting to me is that it is less about whether or not the concept itself is a mystery, and more about what the implications are and the ways that they're trying to put it together. And I just appreciate seeing the ways that they've come in. But it also, again, yeah, it could be that it's like, okay, well, you don't feel compelled the same way. That definitely can be a thing. And trying to figure out what it is that like makes a game more or less compelling to you, I think it's a really important thing to do, because it helps you, be a little bit more, it helps you curate your selections a little bit more. Okay, sound seems fine. You don't hear the echo. I have a significant sound delay, and I'm wondering if it is just the result of the audio card I'm using. I'm gonna try and troubleshoot that, I think, off stream, unless it gets like super tragic. But I have like a full half second between when I fire the gun and when I hit the ground, and then I heard it like a half second later. No, maybe a full second later, actually. Oh yeah, I am gonna actually have to do something about that. This is pretty significant. The thing is, I know why it is. Are you getting sound from the stream instead of from the direct? I don't think it's coming from the stream. I think what it's coming from. It is strange. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah. I actually didn't even hear the gunshots until after they had already gone past me. I'm gonna have to look at this in a second. Oh well. That's one way to take care of a problem. Alright, blue dots, it looks like, give us some help. Are you monitoring the stream or capturing audio? So yeah, so I do have my monitor up, and that's what is, like, that's what's playing through the audio. Usually I would watch it direct from, from the TV, but my headset won't allow me. It must be a delay on the mixer, because it does look aligned for y'all. Congratulations, directing.
Something's coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here.